Mixed Messages is a podcast by Bree Graham and Emily Madigan, two mixed women trying to navigate the complexities of living between multiple communities in these divided times. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, on today's episode, we're talking about family, the experiences we've had, and where we're at now. So let's get into it.
Hey, Bree.
How are you?
How you doing? We did it.
Every time.
Every time. I am apprehensive.
Ooh, apprehensive? Girl, why?
Because we're talking about family. It's a tough topic.
Yeah. I talked to my mom on the phone for the first time last night, and I realized like the whole time I was just giving her crap, and I was like, I don't know why she puts up with me. I truly don't.
I just would like to point out to everyone listening that I think you say that about somebody you care about at least once a day. I don't know why they put up with me. I think you tell me that about David or your mother at least once a day, which is very funny to me.
Well, I think I'm asking the question. I don't know if you want to start emailing people and getting answers, but...
Oh, am I supposed to email people to get answers?
Yeah,
why do you put up with Bree?
Let's get a survey out.
Lord.
So fresh out of mixed messages in politics and a crucial election, wouldn't you know it, the holidays are right around the corner. And although this year's holiday season is going to be a bit different than they may have been in years past, sidebar, please stay home and wear your masks. I get it. Nobody wants to celebrate like this, but here we are. So let's just do this so we don't have to keep doing it. Anyway, none of us are exempt from difficult and awkward conversations with the humans who are closest to us. As you know, we briefly touched on the topic of our upbringing and family dynamics in our first episode, but we wanted to spend a little bit more time. We wanted to spend... wanted to spend... Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to spend a little more time. But we wanted to spend a little more time digging into the environment and the people that made us who we are.
I just need to know, are you okay?
No. Emily, sometimes you are the only person outside of David that I've interacted with in days.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, same. So family is a very sensitive subject for me, as it is probably for most people. Honestly, it's probably one of the most sensitive subjects for me. Nothing matters to me more in this lifetime than family, and that includes my chosen family, which may surprise some of you, or maybe it doesn't, because we do a lot of ranting and fighting against white supremacy on this podcast and in our daily lives. And a lot of people, understandably, may assume that that means we are fighting against white people. Though white supremacy was created and upheld mostly by white people, Candace Owens, we are not against white people as a whole. We were raised by white people. Everything you see and love about me, most of it came from my mother. My dance moves, my mama.
Yup.
My grace in heels, my mama. My walk, my mother. Dad ass, my mother. Sorry.
Okay, well.
The booty, my mother.
Okay.
Straight up, she used to give me modeling lessons when I was younger. I could sprint in stilettos by the time I was 10.
Come on.
I know. Listen, Lisa does not play around, okay?
Also, like,
shout out to Lisa.
Shout out to both of our moms for making sure that, like, if we are going to wear the heels, you need to walk in them. Because my mom always used to tell me, like, do not be that girl that comes out of the club and takes off her shoes. Like, do not be that girl. We're not. I'm not. So ever since
we're not doing that.
I'm not doing it.
She's like, my mom's like, if you're going to wear them, you have to be able to get away in them. And I was like,
yeah, come on.
Fair. That's fair. Actually, stilettos work great in ice.
Stilettos, pumps.
In the club. Hey.
Who would have thought that these girls can get crunk?
Hey, also, remember the club? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Did I share that meme with you the other day that was like, I miss going to the club and leaving early without telling my friends?
Yes. Yes. You said that yesterday. And I was like, she's always the one to leave without telling nobody. Ugh. And I was brought up, if you go to the club with somebody, you leave the club with somebody. You don't just disappear on
I was
people.
probably
Because
taught
then
that
when
too.
you go missing, it's not on my fault. It's
I
on
was definitely
on my watch.
probably taught that too, but I don't listen. So my mom will. You know what? Never mind. I'm sorry. Let's bring it back.
Let's bring it back. Okay. And it's not just the superficial stuff that I got from my mom either. My mom taught me how to love people in any situation. And she taught me her favorite phrase, it can always get better, right? And I also learned from the white men in my family. My dad taught me how to find the joy and silliness in everyday situations. My 3 brothers taught me how to be resilient in my mind, body, and heart, like literally. My oldest brother, Derek, taught me how to fight and defend myself, body. My second oldest brother, Justin, taught me to use my mind and to stay sharp and witty. Okay, don't tell him I said that, Lily. I know you're listening. There will be no living with him after that, so just don't tell him I said he's witty. Please don't tell him I said that. And my baby brother, Andrew, taught me how to love wholly and completely. So if you know me, you know that they are my entire world. They are the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. And I have actually been doing a lot of reflecting on this specific topic lately. I realized recently that in the search for who I am, I've been searching for what I didn't have access to growing up, which is the Black and brown side of me, that part of my family, that community. And actually, I did end up finding them, which I'm sure I will talk about in upcoming episodes. But when I turned towards the unknown, I feel like I turned away from my family, from the known part of me. And my family has lost me and regained me and lost me over and over again in so many ways. And they have never once turned from me. They have let me be angry. They have let me scream and curse at the systems that they are a part of by human creation. They have let me claim my space and have been there to catch me when I feel like I can't do it anymore. And I feel like I don't tell them or the world that enough. And it hurts me. And I know it hurts them. I mean, sure, they made mistakes, but we all make mistakes. I mean, my mother had 4 kids, 2 of them stepsons by the time she was 30 or roughly around our age.
Ooh.
Couldn't be me. My dad, bless his heart, never. But bless his heart, he had 4 kids, one of them an adopted, outspoken young brown girl by the time he was in his late 30s. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone our age who would be able to do that perfectly. Like, are you kidding?
I don't even remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Girl, I can't take care of my damn self. I'm babysitting the dog and she's so over. I don't even know where she is. I don't even know where she is right now. See? Terrible.
See?
But mistakes or not, they are my family and they made me who I am today. And I'm actually pretty freaking proud of who I am. But I shift away from them a lot. But that's part of this mixed journey, right? Feeling split down the middle, literally. You feel like you can't exist in the middle, but that you have to toggle back and forth between man-made identities, but that's just not true.
Yeah.
You know? I'm currently working on claiming all of me. That means going into the white community and saying, guess what? I belong here too. And it's time for me to claim space in the community that I have always been a part of. And if I can't do that with the community that raised me, how do I expect to do that with anyone else?
Girl, you're saying a mouthful right here. And yes, you know, we are the way that we are because of the white women that raised us. And I know for me, Susan raised me to be outspoken at all costs. Like my mom taught me to defend myself, to stand up for myself, advocate for myself, no matter what.
Yeah, same.
And because of that, I think we both don't have any problem pulling up to any confrontation or self-advocating, which is exactly something that I've had to do with multiple family members. My mom's conservative brother and I aren't on speaking terms and haven't been since I was 17. I've gotten into it with my dad's sisters before, and I'd like to think that I'm not just running around here causing problems in my extended family, but I'm also going to stand up for myself no matter what. So it was no exception when my partner's extended family member and I got into it last year. So, okay, a couple things that I want to be clear with right off the bat. One, in the retelling of this story, obviously it's from my point of view. 2, I want to be clear that this person and I are on good terms now. Great, actually. And finally, I don't want to tell this story to vilify them, but I know for certain that there are handfuls of you out there who can relate to this experience. And so I want to share this story with you because I really believe in the power of communication. So last summer, David and I were at his family's cabin, and somehow Trump got brought up in conversation. I know, I can already hear some of your, let me prepare for this sighs. But even without giving you any information about it, it wasn't as bad as it sounds. We were just talking about something stupid he had said in the media that week, and this person had kind of made an excuse for 45's behavior. So right then and there, I asked them about it, and it was honestly a pretty civil conversation. I wasn't exactly okay with the context of the conversation, but I wasn't trying to make a scene, so I kept it cute. You'd be really proud of me.
Mhm.
But when I left the cabin, it still just didn't sit right with me. Because, and I really hate to keep circling back to this specific administration, but the thing about Trump is that for a lot of us marginalized people, safety is a big concern. It's not about the economy or trade for us. It's about the people that hate us based on their racism, feeling empowered to say and do harmful things to us because of this administration. I thought about all of the times that I had to code switch to feel safe in spaces that aren't for me. I thought about the people that say that they care about me, knowingly voting for someone who justified white supremacists with tiki torches amplifying fear. I thought about that, and I really hate to admit this, but I thought about my hypothetical child with David, who would be no doubt a biracial baby, who wouldn't know how to code switch or how to protect themselves unless they are taught to. And I thought about what happens if I'm not there. Would they be protected in the way that I would need them to be? So anyway, so I emailed this person. I had typed up, in my humble opinion, a really eloquent email. I read it over and over and over again, no less than 80 times. I know it.
And you also sent it to your friends.
I was just going to say, I know I sent it to y'all. I tried to be gracious and thoughtful, but firm with my needs. I felt like this email was the equivalent of who Kamala had to be during the VP debate, because we know Black women aren't allowed to be angry without being vilified. Anyway, we had set up a plan to have a conversation. Cool. But that conversation kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. From the date of the initial conversation at the cabin to the day that we actually had the phone call, it took about 3 months. And during those weeks, I kept questioning if I could stay in a relationship with my partner, because my request for a conversation as a means to protect my safety wasn't important enough. I felt disrespected. I felt embarrassed. I felt like I was being perceived as starting drama. And so I avoided this person at all costs. When we did have the conversation, I'll be honest, it didn't go well. I felt like I had to take care of their heart before mine, reminding them that I know that they aren't racist and I know that they're a good person. I didn't really get to say what I needed to say. So we just left it there. And I was really hurt. When George Floyd was murdered, David and I got a text from this person saying how deeply sorry they were that that happened. And girl, my reaction was like, wait, what? I can't even explain to you how confused I was, because I didn't understand where it was coming from. We aren't Facebook friends, so I know that they didn't see that I was out protesting or, y'all, I really did not know where this was coming from.
We were all like, it's happening. It's happening. Oh my God, it's happening.
Right. And while I was trying to shake the shook, wouldn't you know it, this person texted me and asked me if we could revisit our conversation. And if you want to talk about mixed messages, boy, I was
Gross.
feeling them right then and there. My heart was full of excitement to, after almost a year, finally having the conversation that I'd been wanting to have. But also, I was really upset that now was the time that they felt like we could talk. And you know what? When we did have that conversation, I expressed all of those things. I told them about how I had questioned my relationship and my safety. I told them that I felt hurt and disrespected that it took so long. And you know what? They were honest with me. And I can't even begin to tell you how much that meant to me, that they were honest in saying that they didn't want to cause any problems in our relationship, that they thought I was going to be angry, and they admitted that they believed the stereotype of the angry Black woman. And that's why they had postponed this conversation for as long as they had. Y'all, we had this conversation and it was hard, but it was one of the best things that we could have done for our relationship. Because I think to truly love each other, you have to communicate with them, even when it's hard. Something one of my best friends said to me when we were in this really weird rut of arguing all the time, she said, trust in our friendship. She meant trust that at the end of the day, I love you and I'm here for you. Trust that even when we don't see eye to eye or when we can't say the things that we need to say, trust this bond, trust this relationship. I know that not everyone has those type of people in their lives. I know that not every conversation is going to go well and leave both parties feeling seen and respected. Please trust and believe that I know that. But I'd also like to challenge that I know there are some of you out there that haven't even tried. There are some of you who are too scared to advocate for yourselves because it can be hard. I want to ask you to consider to try. We've talked about people having a tendency of caring about an issue if it affects them or someone they love directly. So if this is someone you care about, someone that is in your life, and you don't want to have to prepare for the emotional exhaustion that being around them can bring upon you, I'm just going to ask you to consider if having a conversation is something you could do. And if it is, what are the reasons that are holding you back from doing so?
So I think it's so interesting that you bring this up because I am one of those people.
What?
I am. I will fight tooth and nail to the ends of the earth to the death for other people. I do not find any difficulty in telling other people how their actions or inactions hurt others. But I have a very hard time confronting the people that I love with how they are hurting me. I do not know how to advocate for myself. And that is for sure a learned trait from the long line of women in my family. We take it and take care of everyone around us before we take care of ourselves. And when we do finally take care of ourselves, we feel guilty. And I didn't used to be that way. I used to, well, I was a very outspoken child.
No.
I was, and even worse as a teenager. And after some personal issues went down within our family, I became very outspoken against my dad specifically. I mean, I would scream at him. I would call him all sorts of terrible names. I would make him cry and then stand over him and mock him. Like I was ruthless because I felt betrayed and I was defending my family, mainly my mother. So it was easy. It was justifiable, righteous anger in my mind that was fueled by my need and kind of my duty at that time to defend those that I loved. And I still do that to this day. But I never talk about my own needs and feelings, not unless they're filtered through the lens of being a defender. Even now to this day, I have so much that I want and need to say to my family, my close friends, that I don't know how to say. And it's interesting because the only person that I feel like I can openly talk to about the way their actions affect me in a healthy way is my dad. Because we went through such a rough period and are still in each other's lives that I know I can talk to him and he's not going to take it personally or leave me because I'm afraid of being left and abandoned. And that's the result of a lot of things, family and otherwise. Maybe because I have a history of turning my back on people when they hurt me. Maybe because my grandmother would use emotional manipulation to get her way. Who knows? There's actually a lot there that I need to unpack with my therapist later. But this need to please those that are the closest to me and fight the world in their honor is one of the deepest wounds and reactions that I am currently trying to heal. And it keeps me stagnant. It keeps me from being able to speak my mind until I'm so furious that I explode or I just go away, which makes no freaking sense. So honestly, I haven't had a lot of really difficult conversations with my family that had to do with me and my needs that I can remember. I mean, I've had like social media fights with extended family, but that's about it. But I was advised by my brother, Justin. He said something to the effect of, if you don't care what they think already, there's no point in starting now. And he was right. So I stopped all of that. Shout out to Justin. What up, Juicy J?
Ew.
I mean,
ew.
I do.
Oh.
I call him Juicy J, and it's so upsetting. And he lets me do it. He doesn't. He has yet to tell me to stop, and I shan't.
Yeah.
I shan't. It's good, but I also call. No, yeah, I just call him Juicy J.
Well,
I mean, I do have close family that are Trump supporters or married into a Trump supporting family, and that really hurts because I don't know how to talk to them about it. And sometimes I wonder if I'm enough to make them realize how their politics and worldviews are negatively affecting the community and my own feeling of safety. I'm afraid to tell them that I don't feel like they have my back. And a lot of that fear comes from just never feeling like I've been enough or too much, and that my feelings will get brushed off as me being too sensitive or dramatic, which has happened a lot to me in my life. So I am one of those people who is scared to have the tough conversations with the people I care about. And that includes my friends too. I'm just scared across the board to have those conversations, which not many people know because I'm very, very loud about defending other people. So
yeah. Well, yes, that. And also in your journey of unpacking all of this, like, you have to reserve your energy. Not everybody deserves your energy. This work can be exhausting and debilitating, and frankly, sometimes can suck the joy right out of you. And especially if you're at a place where you don't want that joy to be compromised. I understand reserving that from other people.
But also, what joy? Because not having those conversations takes away any joy that I could have.
Ooh, all right. Well, speaking of friends, I recently had an old high school friend of mine email me apologizing for something that had happened several years ago. I think I was somewhere around 18 to 20 when I had this friend and her then boyfriend over to my mom's house to watch an episode of Sons of Anarchy. If you don't know about Sons of Anarchy, it's about this sexy ass white biker boy doing whatever biker boy stuff biker boys do.
Anarchy.
Anarchy.
I am the son of anarchy. I'm sorry.
I really just need you to know that I hated that with my whole heart. But okay, honestly, I was only into it because I really love Katie Seagal. Hey, Smart House. Do you remember Smart House? It's fine. She was the house in Smart House. It doesn't matter. Anyway, long story short, this biker boy gang had a chase scene with some black biker dudes, and my friend's boyfriend said something along the lines of these stupid N-words. Honestly, I can't remember exactly what he said because it was over 10 years ago and I blacked out in that moment. What I do remember is being stunned that he said it and pissed that my friend didn't stand up to him. Now, Susan, on the other hand, heard the comment and kicked him out of her house immediately. Shout out to Susan.
Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to Susan.
But my friend didn't advocate for me. In fact, she defended her boyfriend. And our friendship started falling apart right then and there. She and another now ex-friend of mine were super pro-cop because she was in the police academy or something, and the other friend's mom was a cop. And I obviously was going to protest. And for whatever reason, they were just not able to see that I wasn't against them, that I had never been against them. My boyfriend at that time, his dad was a cop. And even now, whenever I run into him, I say, hi, what up, Don? But I obviously was in my new awakening, and I wasn't about to turn away from this conversation about injustice. So we stopped speaking. Fast forward to like a month ago now, I'm minding my own business when I get this email from this ex-friend of mine. Basically, she said that her job had been doing this diversity training, and she still thinks about what happened that Sons of Anarchy night. And she sort of apologized. I think her intention was to apologize.
Sort of apologize.
Yeah. And
it was not an apology.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
I really, I weighed back and forth with whether or not I wanted to respond because you know me, I love a teachable moment. I love a
Mhm.
moment of growth. I love a moment to express when someone's actions, or in this case, inaction, affects me. I love a moment in like the movie where the antagonist has a revelation and they realize that they were wrong and they try to do better. And so I genuinely considered responding to this email. But then, because I share my business with all my friends and I have to get all of my friends' opinions before I make like an official move, which actually sometimes I will make the move even if I get all of the opinions and everybody says no, I'll still say yes, but it's fine.
Oh, you're gonna do you. The thing is, you already know what you're gonna do. You're just double checking to make sure that you have backup.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we're like, don't do it, you're like, well, I already decided I'm gonna do it. I was just checking to see like where y'all were at.
It's literally that.
So
If it's a cosign, it's invisible ink because I'm still going to do me.
yes, yes,
But
yeah.
anyway, so I talked
Mhm.
to my friend Corey, and he said to me, he said, you haven't thought about this moment in 10 years. And it's taking more energy from you now than you had given it in 10 years. So unless you want to be friends with this person again, I think it's okay to just read it and move on. And that's what I did. And a lot of you know me, I'm not good at just leaving it and letting it be. But I think I did because in this email, she said something like she's committed to raising her son better. So, like, what more can I do? Any response that I gave her would have taken up energy that I honestly do not have a lot of right now. So sometimes it's Gucci to just say thank you next.
Also, shout out to Corey. If you like our theme music, that's all him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So conversations with family can be difficult and stressful,
To say the very
to say the very least. And not everyone is in a place to have them.
Both literally and figuratively. Thanks, COVID.
So,
Well, actually, thanks 45 and thanks, COVID. Anyway, Emmy, I want you to know that I consider you family, and I know things aren't necessarily normal. I don't want to say normal. The traditions have changed this year, but there's one tradition that I would like to keep, and that is asking what you're thankful for. So I would like to know what you're thankful for this year.
what am I thankful for this year? Okay. What am I thankful for this year in 2020? I'm thankful for time. I feel like if we're going to look at 2020 as having any sort of blessing, I would say it's time. And not everyone is blessed with that, but I was one of the lucky ones, and well, I don't know about how lucky I am. I lost work and am financially struggling, but
Right.
the time that I have to spend with family, because I moved back to Minnesota from New York, and I've been with my family during this entire pandemic, the time I've had to be able to spend with you, and the time I've been able to spend with myself.
Yes.
And really trying to get to know myself and what it is that I need or truly want moving forward in my life. What I have time and patience for. I've learned a lot about the people around me. I've learned who my community really is and who I'm going to keep close to me here moving forward. There's nothing like a global pandemic and an uprising to show you who people really are and who is deserving of your time.
Right.
I've also learned a lot of hard lessons like patience and deciding, it's very easy for me to say, even if you're family, you're going to get cut off if you think X, Y, and Z. Or if you choose X, Y, and Z. It's a whole other thing to actually do that, especially when they're people that are really close to you and that mean the world to you, you meaning me. So trying to find that balance of like setting up proper boundaries with myself and with people that just I'm not going to see eye to eye with, while also taking the time, if I feel like it, to teach them and also give them grace and give them space to learn and grow. That's been something that I've been doing, and am very thankful for the lessons that I've learned in that. I'm thankful for all the lessons 2020 has taught me. I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
Yes, come on, growth. Come on, maturity. Come on, growth during the worst year of all time. Yes, girl. I love that. I love that for you. That's what's up. Let's see. What am I thankful for?
Oh gosh, what am I thankful for? This year has been so, I can't even, I'm not even going to go into the big lament about like how difficult this year is, because we all know it. And if we haven't experienced it, then we've all seen commercials that are like, with these trying times. But what I'm thankful for, I'm thankful for my health of like me and the people that I care about and I love. Even the people that I love who have been extremely reckless and are not taking, wearing masks seriously. Even though I am annoyed with them, I am still very thankful that they are well. I am thankful. Wow, I'm really thankful for the arts. I'm really thankful for music, and I'm really thankful for the performers that are still trying to find ways to perform. I'm really thankful for the small businesses that are working their butts off to try to stay around for us. And I'm really thankful for small things that I didn't realize that I need to spend more time practicing gratitude towards. Like, there's just so many things. There's so many things that I think the overall theme that I'm recognizing in this year is what I'm thankful for is like, it's literally everything. I'm literally thankful for everything. And it really sucks that we had to have like a baby tyrant president and this pandemic, and so many things happen for me to fully be able to embrace this this gratitude that I have. But I don't think I'm alone in feeling that. So anyway,
this holiday season, especially if you end up being around family a lot, let's work on being energy efficient. I'm talking about reserving your energy, being thoughtful about your needs, and creating boundaries. Speaking of energies and boundaries, LOL. I can feel Emily prepping for this right now with a deep sigh.
I'm so tense.
Butt puckered! Butt puckered!
I'm so butt puckered.
On our Patreon,
our next 2 episodes are going to be really special and unique.
Because today we focused on family, how could we not have conversations with our own? On our Patreon next week,
I'm going to be interviewing my family to talk about their interracial relationship, the dynamics of raising a biracial child, and, just chatting it up with mom and pops.
If you're not subscribed to our Patreon, you should be. Go ahead. It's going to be a great conversation. You won't want to miss it. Otherwise, look forward to our regularly scheduled program next week.
Cue music.
Emily, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Baby girl, you got support. You got support. You got the, what is that song? You got the who? Is it the hooch? You got the hooch, baby?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, come on. Everybody knows.
I don't.
You got the hooch, baby. You got the only sweetest thing in the world. Come on.
You know who you need to be talking to about this is John Madigan. You'd be talking to my dad. He's the only one who knows music like that in my family.
Well, maybe you can ask him for me when you interview him.
Christ.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Mixed Messages. For more information, check out our website at mixedmessagesPod.com. To hear more episodes from us, follow us wherever you stream your podcasts. If you like what you hear, leave us a review. The more reviews we get, the easier we are to find and the faster we can get our message out there. For more exclusive content, join our Patreon. Thanks again. See ya.